shomer, shomer Yisrael, Shemo, Sherit Yisrael, Shemo, Sherit Yisrael, Val Yovad, Val Yovad, Val Yovad Yisrael, Omerim Shema Yisrael.
Like one thing after another today.
I tried to do.
Have a shepherdess, my answer. The ladder to get to the roof.
My first wife, Bracha, Aleha Shalom, was 6 months pregnant with Aaron Ruvain when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And after Aaron was born, it was after the bris, she started chemotherapy. They thought the prognosis was good. I guess when it got into her lungs, that was when we knew that it was going to be an uphill battle. Eventually took her life when Aaron just turned 3 years old. And we had amazing communal help here. A lot of families were helping out. And as a single parent, I also had to rely on the community a great deal. One of the things I was not looking forward to at all was having to, date again. But obviously, Hashem had other plans. And Leslie was the first woman that I met when I was ready to start dating again.
I remember when we got engaged, everybody in the community was coming out of the woodwork and coming up and hugging and kissing me. I kind of accepted Aaron as he was for the first few years of our marriage. He was in the special needs programs in the public schools, and I didn't really understand how behind and how different he was. And it wasn't until Shoshana Razel, his baby sister, was born, and seeing what she could do at 2 and what he couldn't do at 8, and I said, I gotta do something. He needed to be in a place where his very specific needs were going to be addressed.
The rush hour or the cards?
Yeah, we were doing rush hour. When I first met Aaron, he'd start talking and not really direct his conversation to anyone in particular. His eye contact was often so poor that he wouldn't even be facing you.
It's harder to teach the social skills because often with students like Aaron, it's hard to determine whether or not they crave that social interaction.
Aaron has made a lot of progress, certainly in the area of his desire to connect with others. There are many times that you see these, not just sparks, but flames of that connection where he really has the interest of others in mind. He has gone as far as reaching out on his own, making the initiation to connect with people, even people who were not in his class. And for Aaron, that is a huge leap.
I remember the first time, it was a few months ago, and he came in the house, and in the past, he would normally come in the house and I wouldn't even know he was in here. But this time, he came directly into the kitchen and he very determinedly faced me and his little sister and he said, "Hello, Ima. How was your day? Hello, Shoshana Razel. How was your day?" And I was really overwhelmed. I couldn't believe he could do that.
Not that much, but I know
He'd never done it before.
so that they could make tents.
It took him 10 years to do that.
Yes, Aaron.
That's at least the minimum.
Excellent. Excellent. That's the minimum size of a sukkah. When he was unfocused and he wasn't listening to any of the material, so it would appear that perhaps he's not so bright. Explain it a little more. Once we were able to make that breakthrough and extend his attention span, we were able to see clearly that Aaron is a very bright student, and Aaron has made connections to previously learned material that has blown me away.
There really is nothing like Sinai. We're very clear on the idea that this is the only place for him to get what he needs to succeed in life, and he has tremendous potential.
And how well he's acclimated socially and friends, and almost every weekend he begs us to take him to either Teaneck or Fairlawn or wherever it might be, to one of his classmates. It's like night and day, like night and day.
There's a lot of action in our kitchen, a lot. Usually at the kitchen table, we've got 2 sets of homework going on. The island is another set, and at the stove, usually 1 or 2 people cooking and getting in each other's way. Rafal's my first child. At about 18 months old, he had been sick and wasn't really getting better. So when we brought him to the doctor, he sent us straight to the emergency room, straight to the hospital.
Just hearing the word cancer shakes you.
The kind he had is extremely rare in children and very poor prognosis. He came to the point where the doctors gave up. The doctors felt that there was nothing else that they can do. There was no way to save him. When he survived, the doctors were amazed.
Rafal is an anomaly. He fell into this really remote, real small statistical group of people who survived 4 relapses of his type of cancer. And when you take a child who's 18 months old, a brain that hasn't fully developed yet, and start exposing them to chemotherapy, to radiation, there are going to be issues. There are going to be learning issues. There are going to be developmental issues.
He survived the cancer, but when all was said and done, I had to pick up the pieces at that point and make him a productive, well-rounded Jewish member of our society. I was recommended to go to Sinai.
It was the realization that this is something serious, as these are the experts to handle the things that maybe don't fit into a box.
Rafal is a miracle baby. The fact that he is alive is really, thanks to God. And the damage that he sustained as a result is what brought him to Sinai.
It wasn't until we were a couple of years into his treatment that we discovered my wife was pregnant with twin boys. So it looked like, okay, things were turning, life was getting better, we've got the cancer thing down, and now we'll just move on with life with our twins, only to find out that one of the twins had Down syndrome. So the roller coaster went back down, and we started with the next challenge.
I gave birth to twin boys. I find that one of them very likely has Down syndrome. I was by myself in the room and got a little hysterical. I got a million different opinions from different people. And some of those opinions were just so ridiculous. I mean, like, leave him in the hospital. These things are things that break up a marriage. You don't want to bring that into your household. I felt like, how can we not be open and just accept our children exactly for how they are, who they are, and just give them everything that I would give any of my children. Yaakov was in the New York City public school system. It was very frustrating for me. They set the bar way too low because they decided he has Down syndrome, so he's only capable of so much. That was unacceptable to me. So I went to Sinai. I already had experience with them. I had already known what a wonderful job they were doing with Rafal, and decided that how can I not give my child with Down syndrome the best possible schooling situation?
Rafal has really been through a lot. We were just filling out some forms and we asked him for his birth date, and he said, "I don't want to talk about my birthday. My birthday was a sad day." Rafal somehow associates that when he was born, was when he got sick. Today, he's a put-together, mature young man who has his concerns and his anxieties, and those are not going away. But he's able to conduct himself. The fact that Rafal is able to radiate joy and happiness. The TABC students, TABC teachers, they would describe Rafal as a happy-go-lucky kid. Yaakov is new to us this year. He was in our elementary program up until now, and he started in the high school this year. There's a lot that's hard for Yaakov. There's a lot of learned helplessness there, and that's really what we work very hard day to day to pull him out of. Yaakov is a magnetic child.
They have such joy. I had the opportunity to speak with Yaakov about what are some of his favorite things here in the building of TABC. Smile on his face, he loves it. And to see someone who loves his life so much, I said, don't you wake up early to come to school? No, it's the perfect time. I love coming to school.
Everything that Sinai offers in terms of Yiddishkeit can be summed up in the boys' bar mitzvah. I don't know how common it is in a shul where a Down syndrome child gets up and leans from the Torah on his bar mitzvah, but this happened, and this happened for my child.
To imagine that they would be up there and laning and have a bar mitzvah probably wasn't something that I really thought was going to happen. Not only that, we keep hearing that, like, oh, Yaakov was on a Shabbaton Shabbos in Teaneck, and he actually spoke in front of the shul and delivered his Devar Torah. Like, not something I would have considered, not something I would have even thought was possible. Clearly, he's being instilled with all the right aspects that give him the ability to stand up in front of a shul and deliver a Devar Torah. You know, it's incredible. It's been the right decision from day one. It will continue to be the right decision. It's astounding.
Each of these children has such a specific program that very often requires one-on-one, one-on-two. Staffing a program like that is a huge expense, an expense that I can't afford, an expense that I can only afford because of fundraising dinners and people who generously contribute and understand what a valuable program this is. And I'm so grateful.
Israel.